Today, we are going to break down 6 scientifically proven steps for building genuine rapport with pretty much anyone, whether it's a new client or, even a new friend.
So let's start with a big question. Why do we sometimes feel a conversation with a prospect just going cold? Why do we lose their interest when it feels like we're doing everything right?
Well, the answer can be a little uncomfortable. A lot of the time, we, as salespeople, are the problem. We unconsciously do things that actually push people away, and we don't even realize it's happening.
And this creates what you could call the unconscious rapport problem. See, most prospects are polite. They're not going to tell you why the conversation felt off. They'll just quietly ghost you. And you never learn why that opportunity just vanished. You never get to fix the real issue.
But here is the good news. There is a fix. And the best part? It doesn't require you to be some super charismatic, naturally hilarious person. It's just about following 6 actionable steps, and they're all grounded in actual social psychology. Okay, so the first 2 steps fall under the idea of mirroring. This is based on a real psychological thing called the chameleon effect, where deep down, we subconsciously trust people who act and sound more like us.
Step 1 is to match your prospect vocally. This is something almost nobody pays attention to, but it is so critical. You have to match their pace, their tone, and their volume. If you don't, their brain picks up on this weird disconnect, and a wall goes up before you've even said anything important.
So the key is to adapt. If your prospect is loud and talking a mile a minute, match that energy. If they're soft-spoken and gentle, bring your own tone down. I once had a doctor who was talking to me from like 2 feet away, just booming, and it was so uncomfortable. That's exactly the kind of disconnect we want to avoid.
And that leads right into step 2, match their vibe. This is everything else, the non-vocal stuff. The pace of their movements, the strength of their handshake. Now, this doesn't mean you have to change who you are. It just means you're adjusting your energy to meet them where they are. And that is an incredibly disarming thing to do because it sends a signal of familiarity and safety.
Okay, let's move on to our next section, which is all about reframing. These next 2 steps are about completely changing the script and the focus of the conversation to build trust fast.
Step 3 is to break the pattern. Your prospect has a mental script for how a sales call is supposed to go. Your job is to completely tear up that script. If every other salesperson is marching east, you need to march west. That little jolt from what they expect makes their brain wake up and pay attention in a whole new way.
And here's a super simple way to do this. The typical salesy opener is, "How are you today?" It's so predictable. A much better pattern-breaking opener is just a tiny switch to, "How have you been?" It just sounds more human, it's unexpected, and it immediately lowers their guard.
All right, step 4. This might be the single most important rule in all of sales. Focus on them. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but prospects do not care about you. They don't care about your company, and they don't care about your product. They only care about themselves and their problems.
Always remember this quote. Every prospect is tuned into one radio station, WIFM. What's in it for me? Every single part of your conversation has to be framed around them, their challenges, their goals, and what's in it for them.
We're on the home stretch. Our final 2 steps are all about active engagement. These are specific techniques to prove you're listening and make sure you're both totally on the same page.
Step 5 is to repeat and rephrase. When you repeat a prospect's keywords and then rephrase their points back to them, it does 2 really powerful things. First, it proves you're actually listening. And second, it often helps you dig deeper into what their real challenges are, just by making them feel heard.
This process, which was made famous by former FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss, is just so simple. It's a 3-step technique. If a prospect says something is a huge problem, you just repeat it back as a question. Huge problem? Then you let them elaborate. And then you rephrase it to confirm. So if I'm understanding you correctly, it just shows you get it.
And finally, step number 6, use feedback loops. This is your secret weapon for those moments when you have to do most of the talking, like during a demo or a presentation. It's a way to pull them back into the conversation so they stay with you. So what is a feedback loop? It's nothing complicated. It's just a short, simple question that you drop into your monologue. Little phrases like, "Does that make sense?" or "Do you see what I'm saying?" They act like these little checkpoints to make sure your prospect is still with you and you're not just talking at them.
Okay, let's bring it all together. What is the big takeaway from all of this? Here they are, the 6 scientifically proven steps. Number 1, match vocally. 2, match their vibe. 3, break the pattern. 4, focus on them and their WIFM. 5, repeat and rephrase. And number 6, use feedback loops to keep them with you.
Look, building rapport isn't magic. It's a skill. It's built on a series of small, intentional actions. So the final question is for you. Looking at these 6 steps, which one are you going to consciously try in your very next conversation?